Good evening. Welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Hamilton. We welcome you here in the sanctuary and those who have opted to join us at home. The online folks are muted and we ask you to do the same. Please turn off any devices. Our names are Sue Stewart Green and John Green, and we are your service leaders this evening. A note today that our words for the music will not be on the wall. There's hymnals in front. You'll need both if you wanted to grab one. Thank you. And we want to thank our team, our worship team, include the Reverend Danie Webber, our music ministers, Cindy Carey, Rachel Derry, and the Christmas Eve Choir, as well as Ed Canning, our tech team, Brian Carey and Josh McIntyre, usher Elizabeth Beckett.
We are not the first people on this land, nor will we be the last. We acknowledge our connection to the web of all existence, honoring the past and preparing for the future. The stewardship of the original people who lived here preserve this place for our generation. We seek to be respectful stewards of this place for those who follow.
Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your journey of faith or search for meaning, today you are one of us and you are most welcome here in this house of worship. Our mission is to nurture one another, serve the community, and inspire action to heal the world.
Each time we gather, we light a chalice. It reminds us that we are entering sacred space and time together. It reminds us of our connection to Unitarian Universalists all over the world. Please join me in our chalice lighting words. May this flame be our light of friendship and love.
Hello, everyone. I'm Reverend Danie. It's nice to see you all here tonight. For each of the last 4 Sundays, we've lit Advent candles on our Advent wreath. Each light was a step into winter toward the turning of the year. We're leaning into expectation, into all that is being born in us at this holy time of the year, when the unknown lies before us, rich with possibility. Tonight, we light the Advent candles for the last time. We light the first candle of hope, that for which is best in us to rise and enliven our souls and our relationships. The second candle we light is for peace, for the courage to soften what is rigid in our hearts, to find the soft spot and stay with it. We light the third candle, the pink one. Good job. In the name of joy, joy in the shape of gratitude for all that is our life, and joy in expectation of the world that we are building and creating with one another. The last candle is lit in the name of love as the creating force in our lives. And finally, we light the central candle, the light that shines in bleak places with the full power of our faith. We know, said Reverend Bill Sinkford, how real the brokenness of the world is, but we will not give brokenness the last word. May this light bear our hopes, as well as our faith in love, in goodness, in compassion, in justice. The light shines in the darkness, but the darkness shall not overpower it. And these words written by Reverend Linda Hart. We kindle a small flame in the dark of the year, remembering the promise of life abundant, of a possible peace. We pause on this night of mystery to tell the stories, to sing the songs, and to bring more light into the world. Come and let us worship together. And we will begin with hymn number 237 in the gray hymnal. This is the first Noel, number 237.
Love first.
The Innkeeper by Dylan Schneider, Anne Dylan Schneider. The Innkeeper isn't part of most nativity sets. No one sings carols about innkeepers. There don't seem to be any paintings that include them, but we can imagine the scene. Bethlehem is crowded with people coming home for the census. It's late at night when the innkeeper responds to a knock on the door and finds a young couple standing there. The woman is very pregnant. She and her spouse look exhausted. They've walked 100 miles over rough, rocky terrain to get here from Nazareth. The innkeeper is confronted with a dilemma. The inn is full. There just isn't any more room. At the same time, the innkeeper knows that offering hospitality is part of being God's people, all because they have been sojourners and strangers in Egypt. That's why the innkeeper has always made sure there's an empty chair for an unexpected guest at the annual Seder meal celebrating Passover. So what is he to do? As a child, the innkeeper had learned the story of Abraham and Sarah welcoming 3 strangers into their home. After they made the strangers a lavish feast, the couple discovered their guests were messengers, angels sent to bring great news. As laughable as it seems, the elderly Sarah was going to have a baby. So the innkeeper knows the tradition of entertaining strangers. The innkeeper knows strangers are messengers from God. Tonight there is a bedraggled and weary couple on his very doorstep. What is he to do? The innkeeper pulls the door a bit, hastily assesses the situation. Is there any space anywhere? The beds are taken. There are even people sleeping on the floor. So what is he to do? Is there any possible solution? In a moment of inspiration, the innkeeper remembers the stable out behind the inn. It's not much. There's some protection from the wind, and no matter how cold the weather, the heat from the animals will keep the guests warm. The innkeeper flings open the door, welcomes the couple with a broad smile. He says, there's not much, there's a possibility, it's a stable, will it suffice? The response, it will. So the innkeeper saved the day. Please rise for hymn number 224, Let Christmas Come.
This poem was written by Daniel Schatz, and it's entitled Perfect Love. It was quiet enough in the alley behind the barn, warm against piles of hay despite the winter chill. I heard the sharpness in her breathing. It's coming. And I heard her against the cold, I held her against the cold, against the pain, against it all. It's coming. They were hard, those first hours we all spent together, coming after so long a journey. Later, poets would tell of stars, shepherds and seers, songs of angels. But all that I remember at the end of that longest night is the cry of my heart, as in my arms I held perfect love. And please join us in singing hymn number 225, O come, Emmanuel.
Have to raise if you don't want to. If you want to just say, sitting for this one. Two, 225. Oh, come, Emmanuel, and with your captive children dwell. Give comfort to all their exiles near, and to the aching heart give cheer. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come within us long to dwell. O come, is the very bright, as joy that never yields to night. Oh, come and turn our hearts to peace, and grief and war at last shall cease. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come within us to dwell. Oh, come, you days bring calm and cheer our spirits by your presence here, and dawn in every broken soul, as vision that can see a whole. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come within us like to dwell. Oh, come, you wisdom from on high, from depths that hide within us sigh, to temper knowledge with our care, to render every act a prayer. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come within us home to
This is the time now when we receive our offering. Tonight is a special offering. We are gathering funds for Sacagawea, our partner and friends providing much-needed Indigenous housing in Hamilton. To donate, you can donate tonight, or you can go online through our website, through our festival@uu.com email, and you can donate remotely. We will now receive our offering while we listen to our music minister, Ed Canning, singing When a Child is Born.
of hope flickers in the sky. A tiny star lights up way up high. All across the land dawns a brand new morn. This comes to pass when a child is born. A silent wish sails the seven seas. The winds of change whisper in the trees, and the walls of doubt tumble tossed and torn. This comes to pass when a child is born. A rosy hue settles all around. You start to feel you're on solid ground. For a spell or two, no one seems forlorn. This comes to pass when a child is born. It's all a dream, an illusion now. It must come true sometime soon, somehow. All across the land dawns a brand new morn. This comes to pass when a child is born.
A ray of hope flickers in the sky. A tiny star lights up way up high.
All across the land dawns a brand new morn. This comes to pass when a child is born. This comes to pass
When a child is
Thank you very much, Ed, and thank you for your generous offerings this evening. Much appreciated. Our reading now is from The Night It Snowed, The Queens Came Late by Nora Farber. The queens came late, but the queens were there, with gifts in their hands and crowns in their hair. They'd come, these three, like the kings from far, following, yes, that guiding star. They'd left their ladles, linens, looms, their children playing in nursery rooms, and told their sitters, "Take charge, for this is a marvelous sight we must not miss." The queens came late, but not too late, to see the animals, small and great. Feathered and furred, domestic and wild, gathered to gaze at a mother and child. And rather than frankincense and myrrh, and gold for the babe they brought for her, who held him a homespun gown of blue, and chicken soup with noodles too. And a lingering, lasting cradle song, the queens came late and stayed not long, for their thoughts already were straining far, past manger and mother and guiding star, as a child aglow in a morning sun, towards home and children and chores undone. Please rise for 259, We Three Kings.
Field and mountain, moor and mountain,
Every night a child is born is a holy night by Sophia Lyon Fahs. And so the children come, and so they have been coming, always in the same way, born the seed of men and women. No angels herald their beginnings, no prophets predict their future courses, no wise men see a star to point their way to find a babe that may save humankind. Yet each night a child is born is a holy night. Fathers and mothers sitting beside their cribs feel glory in the wondrous sight of life beginning. They ask, when or how will this new life end, or will it ever end? Each night a child is born is a holy night. May this be the reason in which we celebrate the birth, may this be the season in which we celebrate the birth of every child. And may our lives be filled with holy nights in which we glory in the wonders of life beginning. Please rise if you're able for hymn 1061 in the teal hymnal, For So the Children Come.
For so the children come, and so they have been coming, always the same way they come, born of the seed of a man and a woman. No angels herald their beginnings, no prophets predict their future courses, no wise men see a star to show where to find the babe that will save humankind. Each night a child is born, it's a holy night, a time for singing, a time for wondering, a time for worshiping. Each night a child is born is a holy Yet each night a child is born is a holy night. Fathers and mothers sitting beside their children's cribs feel glory in the sight of new life beginning. They ask, where and how will this new life end? Or will it ever end? Each night a child is born is a holy night, a time for singing, a time for wondering, a time for worshiping. Each night a child is born is a Each night a child is born is a holy night, a time for singing, a time for wondering, a time for worshiping. Each night a child is born is a holy In this moment of anticipation, be still and listen. Let the quiet of this moment nourish your spirit. Feel the warmth of being close together as the light of one child has brought great light to the world. So will the fire of our chalice be the source we pass from candle to candle till each of our candles brighten this sanctuary. Such is the way of our faith, for we tell of a salvation that spreads from hand to hand, from mind to mind, and from heart to heart. Each of us is both giver and receiver of the light of life that has no beginning and no end. So be still, listen, pass on the light, and shine. We are now going to be lighting our individual candles. The three of us will light from the chalice and then walk out among you. Once everybody's candle is lit, we will be singing Silent Night together. At the end of the song, we invite you to blow out your candle and leave it in the basket as you head out the door, and you're welcome to stay in the sanctuary. It will stay silent for a little while. If you're going to have any conversation, please head out to the foyer.